December Town Council Planning Committee meeting. Item 1. Apologies for absence received.
We've got Councillor Carter, personal commitment. I'm worried about this. Councillor Wiles. Yeah. Funny noises.
Yeah, we're okay. It sounds right. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay. It sounds right.
Oh yes, that's us.
I hate sounding my voice.
Councillor Carter, personal commitment. Councillor Wiles, personal commitment, and Mr. Hennessy. Is that correct? Mr. Personal commitment as well.
Thank you. Item 2. Declaration of interest. To receive any declaration of disclosable pecuniary interest from members in respect of business to be transacted on the agenda tonight. Okay. Item 3. Minutes of the Planning Committee. To approve the minutes of the Planning Committee held on Monday the 10th of November 2025 and to consider any matters arising from those minutes not covered elsewhere in this agenda. Attachment 3.
Yeah, I've got 2 comments. So under STC PC 112512, that relates to 57 New Street. We've got a separate report later in the meeting. I have a number of comments I want to make on that, so I won't cover those now, but just referring across to that. Carry over. Then the second, whilst it's not detailed in the minutes, at the last meeting there was some suggestions that we should go out and recruit another tree warden. So I just want to clarify some of the facts around this, because it was said that it was our responsibility to get a new tree warden in. So I've spoken both to our tree warden and also the Mayor of Deal on the matter, because it was suggested that Deal were recruiting a tree warden. So our tree warden is part of the Tree Council organisation. They are not a council appointee. Their role, and the tree wardens as part of the Tree Council, their role is about delivering initiatives relating to the environment within the community that they operate. And ours does that in Sandwich and also the neighbouring villages. The fact that our tree warden was part of our planning process, that was an over and above. And it's not possible for our tree warden to continue doing that. However, she is fully occupied in and will continue to focus on the project and educational activities we have within the community. And also, while some parish councils across Kent appoint volunteers as tree wardens, many do not. So what was said was Deal Council, Town Council were recruiting. I spoke to the Mayor. They are not recruiting a tree warden, and that's a key thing to know. What they are doing is they're trying to recruit a role called a tree guardian, and all their role is about is looking after a number of trees in the locality. It is not about representing any views in the planning committee process. What our tree warden will do is provide us with a crib sheet to members of this committee that we will use when we do get any aspects around the environment, such as trees being cut or felled, etc. So we've got that available to us. And the amount of effort our tree warden was putting into it and the return on her time was so minimal, not least because the district council are now not really putting those in front of us to review. Their time is spent better elsewhere. So just clarifying that point. There was a lot of misrepresentations at the last meeting, and I just want to clear that up.
Yeah, thank you. I've also found out that that Deal haven't appointed a tree warden, and also that our tree warden is quite happy in her capacity as it is. And that was totally regrettable in my opinion, what was said at the last council.
I agree. So I thought it was important to spend a couple of minutes on that.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. Are you all happy to approve the minutes of the minutes? Okay.
So
I'm happy to propose.
Yeah.
second.
Councillor Ripley, second. Yeah, then we'll vote. Thank you. Item 4, public participation. A 20-minute session is set aside for members of the public to make representations at the meeting in respect of the business on the agenda. Individual representation should not exceed 5 minutes. Written notice of the desire to exercise the right to speak, together with the topic to be addressed, must be given to the town clerk at least 4 hours in advance of the meeting.
Yes, we have several members of the public. I don't know how you want to organise it. We've got somebody who wants to talk to us on parking, like we did last time,
Yeah.
and then we've got 3 people who want to talk to us on Polders Lane.
I think we can cover the parking a bit later in the agenda. Should we go Polders Garden? So
Polders Garden, sorry.
yeah. Okay. Right. The 17th. Okay.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me the time to speak to you tonight. My name is David Dillon, and together with my wife Susan, we live at number 18, Polders Gardens, which adjoins number 17, the subject of the application. We are strongly objecting to the application for the following reasons. During the 45 years we have lived in our house, we have improved and enhanced both the house and the garden, and the quiet nature of our cul-de-sac is one of its defining characteristics. It is an essential part of our well-being of the residents that encompass the elderly, the retired and young families. On more than one occasion, quiet was the word used to describe our cul-de-sac by the agent who's handling this application. So it's quite something. We're now in our 70s and we plan to spend our remaining years in our house. However, this application for a change of use to a children's home or a home for children up to the age of 18 has already had a profound stressful effect upon us. The structures of these properties mean that soundproofing is minimal. Therefore, sound transference of all types, talking, TV, music, etc., is very high throughout the entire property. Noise levels created by a children's home can be higher and less predictable compared to a normal family home. The noise created by non-sleeping staff working shifts over 24-hour periods, including shift changeovers, will be intrusive. This is compounded by the additional traffic noise, particularly at unsocial hours, including the likelihoods of comings and goings of additional staff, i.e. social workers and emergency services. In addition to the extra traffic, the installation of security lighting with movement sensors on the front, the side and the rear of the property will cause further disturbance, including sleep problems and privacy concerns of ourselves and other nearby properties. Our cul-de-sac is U-shaped, with properties very close together and the gardens are well overlooked. Hence, the disturbance will be exacerbated by the closeness of our properties. It is stated that these security measures are to prevent youths/adolescents letting others in, which suggests the home will attract unwanted youths and adolescents. On-street parking is extremely limited due to a large number of drop curbs. Hence, vehicles already park on the pavements and in the turning area. Double yellow lines were recently introduced to the front of 9 Polders Gardens properties around the corner from our cul-de-sac. And consequently, visitors to these properties, tradespeople and others and just general visitors, come to our cul-de-sac to seek the opportunity to park. And that's usually on the pavement. A commercial children's home will compound this problem even further. As immediate neighbours, we did not object to the 3 planning applications submitted for number 17 over a period of 12 months. We also expedited the party wall award, as we continued told that number 17 would imminently become a family home. So much so that my wife and I offered various help, including spending days clearing overgrown and neglected garden. We have tolerated months of noisy building work, including internal structural work, all under the guise that number 17 would be a family home. At no time was a change of use discussed during our many conversations, so our worry is that is this deceit the first step towards further developments? In summary, The property is a small semi-detached family home and for all the above reasons is not suitable for a change of use to a commercial enterprise impacting our lives. We should not feel unsafe and vulnerable in our own homes. Thank you.
I can do, I can just be short and sweet on this
Okay.
now. This commercial project should be going ahead.
Can you
Should not-
stand up, please, so it's not...
Sorry?
Yeah.
This commercial project should not be going ahead. There is a covenant on the title deed of the property and the rest of the properties around it. Each property has them, and that is to not use the property for any manufacture, trade or business on site within the boundary. Okay? So what we've got is potentially a professional negligence issue by the conveyancing solicitors, by the purchaser. Now, this is quite common. These firms, law firms, being negligent like this. So this should not be going ahead. So I object to it in its entirety. You know, if we're going to start bulldozing covenants like this,
Yeah.
you're going to open a can of worms here. With things like loss of attraction. Once this goes through, once you've got that commercial enterprise and all that noise and all the adverse events like the gentleman here's raised, if that's realised, those building values will reduce to zero, and that will not be insured. So a lot of people are going to end up out of pocket, and I know that for a fact. I'm involved in commercial assets, and that's coming. So
Thank you.
that's my 2 cents worth.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll just whoops. Right. Thank you very much for letting me talk to you. My name is Maggie Morrissey, and I'm also a resident of Holdsworth Gardens, opposite the house that wants to be changed. I'm also an experienced primary school teacher for 20 years. I also do teacher training, both here in the UK and overseas. My first concerns are obviously because of what happened to the building, but my biggest concern is actually to the children that will be put into these homes. So I decided to investigate the Ofsted report. Interestingly, they say in their report, the agents, that it had a good inspection. I don't know whether anybody saw that. However, there is actually 3 Ofsted reports, and they are not all good. And the last one is pretty poor. I did send a copy of the last one to be handed out. I've also sent links to the actual other 3 reports. Yeah. And also the Ofsted's opinion of these homes, about they're now becoming a money-making exercise, and they're heading into houses and areas that are cheaper to make more money, because it's quite, the councils are paying a lot. I wanted to just quickly, I was going to talk about the last report.
Yeah, do it, you only have 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring
Yeah, okay.
But what's in here flags up even in the good one.
Yeah.
Their record keeping is appalling, their child safety is a risk. They've often not reported children going missing, and on this most recent report you'll find even the police commented on it. So if they're taking in children and get their staff are not being trained properly, there is going to be a problem here. I won't go through it all because as you say, I've got 5 minutes. But I think really if anybody's going to give this company is not a very good company. I have found very good ones that have got funds. Yes, so this company has had 3 years to get itself sorted with one house. And now it hopes to open up a second one. But it can't manage the staff, and it can't train the staff, and it doesn't know how to do the record keeping properly. Now, any school that gets in that situation usually brings on another good school to help them improve. They show that they're trying to improve. This company has not done that. This company has not got another private home that would actually then turn round and go and help mentor them and improve. They haven't, they just carried on. And I really, really do think people should look through the Ofsted reports before anybody, especially in Dover, they really must, because this is very, very worrying. And from the beginning, where they had actually a staff quite serious behaviour incident that wasn't reported to Ofsted, to most recently with them not reporting children going missing and not recording things, and staff turnover. They can maintain the staff. So if they can't do it in a house that they've had for 3 years, what are they going to do here? So I recommend that, I would not support this, and I will carry on, and I will go further with this, because this is a child safety issue now, and these kids would not be, I don't believe, would be safe in that home. And on top of that, if you notice on the report, there is no address of where this house is, and that's because undesirables will be attracted to children's homes like this, and that puts our children in the area at risk as well.
Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, your concern. Yeah, Mr. Gordon.
My turn now?
Yeah.
I'm going into significance to that one, so I'm only about a few parking spaces, so apologies. Good evening, councillors. Thank you for having me back again. I've already sent over a number of documents to you. I understand they have been filtered slightly, so you may not have had the full suite of what I've sent over. The concerns I have are regarding access to the new Alice Gardens developments off of Dover Road. When the application was put through, it resulted in the loss of 6 to 7 long-standing on-street parking spaces. On the pre and post-development parking restrictions document I sent through, it shows where these yellow lines are now installed, etc. as well. Part of the mitigation for this was KCC Highways required the developer to provide 7 replacement parking spaces within the new access road, which were available for unrestricted use. This requirement appears in the original consultation, the updated highways notes, parking strategies, and various other documents as well. The Planning Committee report also recorded these spaces would compensate for the loss of public parking and reference unrestricted access. However, as you've seen from the decision notice, the condition securing public access to spaces was not included. Somewhere between the committee's consideration and the written decision, the highways mitigation simply disappeared. I spoke to KCC Highways and I provided you with that email. They were clear that their requirement for public use in perpetuity was clear and consistent. Their understanding that the spaces were to replace displaced Dover Road parking, and if the planning officer, key point, felt that anything was ambiguous, they should have sought clarification. The fact in my stage 1 complaint response, the planning officer claimed there was ambiguity, clearly suggests he hasn't done that at all. Because the condition was omitted, the management company for the development is now attempting to bring in a private parking enforcement contractor, which means that residents of Dover Road who have previously parked in the area before it was yellow lines now face being fined for using the very spaces that were required as their replacement provision. Even the developer's customer service director in correspondence you've seen acknowledged these bays were intended to act as Dover Road overflow. So I want to be clear, it's not a dispute about preference or interpretation, it's a procedural error from Dover District Council, where a statutory consultee's requirement was not carried through to the final permission. It now contradicts how the council has also handled similar applications. Again, you'll see evidence in the documents I've sent over from Cable Street, where KCC insisted on full replacement parking and the council secured that through conditions exactly as it was required. The remedy is very straightforward. It's a section 96A non-material amendment which allows the council to correct a missing or misworded condition whether it's clear it was intended from the point of decision. It doesn't change the development, it simply restores the highway mitigation as it should have been. So I've submitted so far a stage 1 complaint and a stage 2 complaint, of which I'm waiting for the outcome from, and multiple addendums with full documentary evidence which I have supplied to you as well. Stage 1 response acknowledges several facts. It acknowledges that the transport statement identified loss of parking and the need for compensation spaces. It acknowledges KCC's highways recommended condition requiring the permanent retention of unsecured access to the 7 replacement spaces. It acknowledges that the committee report noted these spaces were intended to compensate for the loss of Dover Road parking. However, despite all this, The stage 1 response then concludes, because the final wording did not explicitly state public use, there was no requirement for the spaces to be made available to the public, and the council can therefore not enforce the original intention. So in a few summary, it treats the statutory consultancy requirement as optional, which it doesn't. It is a highways safety mitigation and is not advisory, it is a requirement. It claims ambiguity when there is none. KCC's original response, the updated response to transport statement, the committee report, the amended parking plan, and KCC's email to me on the 13th of November is crystal clear and shows the requirements were crystal clear. As I said, the KCC themselves have since said our representations were clear and consistent. If the officer thought they were ambiguous, I'd expect them to seek clarification. It also misrepresents the planning committee report. It states that the report explicitly refers to the spaces compensating for loss on street parking, and the committee relies on the conditions being drafted correctly after the meeting. It does not reword every technical element. The compensatory purpose implies public use because Dover Road parking was public. It also ignores established precedent. So it's simply not credible when KCC requires mitigation and the parking was removed by the development. The same requirement has been imposed in other DDC decisions, including Cable Street. It also mistakenly suggests the council now cannot correct the error. My stage 1 reply states that section 96A or section 73 cannot be used because the developer will not be compelled to comply. This is also legally wrong. 96A is expressly available to correct errors and omissions in a planning permission. The council, not the developer, controls its use, and correcting an omission does not require developer consent. The corrected permissions become the operative permission at that point as well. The suggestion of Councillor Powless is incorrect, and it also fails to address the safety implications. These were replacement parking spaces to avoid displacing parking into the main highway and subsequently blocking the road. What I'm asking Sandwich Council to do is very simple, is to support the correction of this omission. As a consultee, whilst you are a consultee during the application stage, you are able to hold Dover District Council to account for missing out conditions that should have been in the planning conditions when they were imposed. So that's the word I was looking for as well. It's about fairness, public safety, ensuring residents are not penalised because of a clerical oversight. Obviously, I know you've got it on the agenda further down, so I will remain if you've got any further questions on that as well.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Item 5, planning application. To receive and decide on applications on which Sandwich Town Council is a consultee on. The first one, I'm not going to read it out because it sounds based on its worth.
Yes.
Sorry, was that one?
But they do because it's a neighbouring parish.
Yes, they do. So I would propose that we
Just note it.
reserve we note it, we don't comment on it. It's a simple request and I don't think there's anything contentious from a neighbouring parish perspective.
No, we get them from Worth, Woodnesborough, Ash and Cliffsend as well, don't we?
I got too many then. Sorry.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's fine.
It happens quite a lot of the time. We get ash and we do get quite a few more.
So we're happy to know?
Yeah.
Thanks, Anthony.
We don't comment on it.
Yeah, no comment, yeah. Okay, thank you. So, 25/01216, 19 Coast Mill Road, Sandwich, CT 13, 0FU, erection of a front porch.
Straightforward request. I don't see anything contentious. It's you should support it in my opinion.
No comments from the public as well? Got a second, that?
So Councillor Shuker?
Yeah. You all in favour of that? Okay. 25/01202, 15 The Butchery, Sandwich, CT 13, 9DL. Repainting of shop front and ALPI door, removal of internal glaze screen, removal of suspended ceiling and air conditioning unit and installation of a fixed farm. I think one of these is planning and one of them is conservation.
Yeah, could we look at the two of them together if that's all right? Or
Yes, everyone happy with both? Yeah, okay. Any comments?
Second.
Yeah.
Well, let's propose that we support it.
Yeah, support the application.
Yeah, it's the frippery that's changing to
A
a
wine
wine
bar.
bar.
Yeah.
It's had a number of different commercial usages over the years, so we should support it. No
Yeah,
reason why not.
yeah, I remember it being a news station a few years ago, and I think there's a butcher's down there as well.
Francis.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah, so cool. All in favour, I think they are.
Yeah.
I think it's unanimous, okay. 25/01/220, 17 Polders Garden, Sam, CT 13 0BE. Change of use from a KEV dwelling house, use class C3A to residential children / young people's care home, use class C2. So I think we talked about this last time, didn't we? Councillor Smith.
So can I thank the three people that spoke first of all?
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of representations from the community around there. I appreciate that. But what I wanted to say is that as a consultee within the planning process, we have to look at the material considerations that impact planning applications. And the reason I say that is I don't want us to mislead you to think if we take on board, and I'll pick up some of the specific comments, if we take them on board, as soon as they go to the statutory authority, which is Dover, they will not take them into account. So for example, deeds and covenants, the avenue for any challenge about that is not through the planning process. They are not part of the planning process. What we have is we have a group of material considerations that we have to look at. And they're the things that we will form an opinion around. So whilst from your perspective, you can't understand why on earth it's being allowed to change when the covenant or the deeds say that it can't, this isn't the avenue to get that challenged. So that's one of the things. Adequacy of parking, what's interesting in the application, there's nothing in there from KCC. So we can certainly flag that up, because I looked at the planning portal again yesterday. But as already expressed, there are a number of concerns about parking in any case, and whilst it might add to it, the issue exists, and there's talk in some of the objections about enforcement. Enforcement is not a planning matter, unfortunately. That is a separate issue that Dover District Council are responsible for, and they can be challenged and should be challenged. The history of the applicants, so that's about backwards and also forwards. It's not a planning consideration, and I looked also on Companies House at the company, and I came to the same opinion about Motherwell Group. However, it's not a planning consideration. So we have to be honest, and if we're dishonest, it will only make you think that actually it could be overturned. When it goes to Dover, you have an opportunity to represent there as well, but they will be driven by planning rules. I understand the objections, but from my perspective, it's very difficult to find anything within what has been said, apart from maybe something around the parking and the traffic that actually can hang an objection on. But that's my view, so I don't know about other councillors.
Well, personally, I'm against it because I'm not sure it's a 1930s house. It's never designed for this because I know it's like you've got noisy neighbours, and like you say, there's young adults, and I don't think the buildings is suitable at all. It's just a
24-hour staff.
Yeah.
Not just the kids, it's the staff.
So anyway, I think we should check the application. But we did have children. I'm not against children. No, we've had children's homes before in Sam, and there were children down from London because I used to run the youth club, and they were very nice children. They were very well supervised. That big house next to it, in Websley Terrace. Both of those houses, they were both full of London children, and they were very well behaved and they were very well monitored. And when they came to the youth club, I mean, they did the disco and a fantastic dance, and I thoroughly loved them. But I think the house there is not suitable at all.
Too small, really.
And
Too small, and they're different children as well. They've got special needs.
Can I just say something? I have a daughter of a 9 years old that's got special needs. And there's we have the new build in St Bart's Road, which is now for adults with autism. My daughter has severe autism. I do support children's homes like this because they give the child a new lease of life. They give the child the thing to thrive and to start them to learn about adult life as they get older. yes, I understand regarding about the houses, that's fine, and that's your entitlement as being in Paul's Gardens. I've been up there, and it is a cul-de-sac, it is small. But my opinion would be, yes, we should object to it because it's not fitting for that area. However, I do like to see children's homes, especially for children with special needs, because my daughter has a special needs.
No, I can
Excuse me, it's only councillors that can talk.
Well, one at a time,
I
so-
agree, yes, with what you're saying, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Within the right house, it's a really good.
Sorry, excuse me, the public are not allowed to speak. It's just
Yeah,
councillors.
thank you. I mean, we've had 3 representations and we have listened to that. I'm sorry, you can't, it's not.
That's the idea, you get time to speak at the start.
Yeah, the way it goes is that section is for the public to talk, and now it's the opportunity for the councils to discuss it. So we've had all your input. Thank you very much, members of the public, but unless the chair allows it, it's
No, we don't know, you fall apart. Councillor Murray.
Yeah, my experience is 2 instances of children's homes in the sense of one was presented as a foster home, but they dealt with extreme cases.
Yeah.
The extreme cases being they had to lock the knives away because they were, and they had to lock the doors because of the nature of the children who were being looked after. But they took that on board because it paid more. And this is clearly a commercial enterprise, so it will pay more. And the worse the children are, in the sense of the more dangerous they are, the more they get paid. The other instance was next door to my parents. It was in the Daily Mail in the end, Marshborough. There was a children's home set up again to make money at a place called Parsonage Farm. And the chap that set it up, ex-lorry driver, saw a bit of money coming in, and it was absolutely aimed at making money, and eventually it was closed down by the authorities. So I think that while, yes, we need children's homes, beyond the foster caring, because there are very different kinds of caring. With the children's home, you're dealing with somebody who isn't suitable for the foster caring. I think it's in totally the wrong place. It's a residential area, and I think in our society at the moment, the comment about attracting others who will prey on these kids who need support, I think it will be a local danger. So I will be voting against against having a children's home there.
I will be also voting against, because I don't think the building is suitable for conversion to children's home.
Councillor Whitman?
No, it was councillor.
I was just going to say it was a proposed refusal.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Councillor?
All I was going to say was that, although I'm fully in favour of children's homes, and I'd quite happily have one next to me,
Yeah.
if it was suitable, I don't like this company, and that is my main concern.
So we've got a proposer, is it Councillor Marine?
I propose that we refuse the
Refuse the
application.
application.
I'll second that.
Second, Councillor Fortescue. All in favour that we,
Green.
yeah.
So can I just say I'm abstaining because the residents need to really be aware of what Dover District Council will be assessing when they look at a planning application. An objection on a company that is not fit for
We're not
purpose.
rejecting the company, we're rejecting on the house. It's not suitable.
So we need to be very clear about what the
It's a
objection
property.
is, because it can't be on the company.
No, it's not on the company, it's on the house.
Well, that's what we're.
So if we can, sorry, if we can be clear that the material objection to this
Yeah.
planning application is that this cul-de-sac and
The house.
house, the build quality of the house,
Yeah.
just, and lack of insulation means that it's not suitable, and you mean, and it will,
It's not trapped, it's not insulated.
yes, so that's what I'll do in the.
If you read the notes, the environmental agency have sent in the portal as well, regarding noise and
Okay,
stuff.
so that's what the objection, our supporting comment will be,
The structure of the house.
because that would be helpful.
Yes, it needs to be specifically related to planning.
Yes, the plan of the house, not something, and the neighbours. Yeah. Okay,
We voted.
yeah, we voted.
Yeah. One member abstained.
One member stayed. Okay, thank you. 25/01/255, 1 St George's Road, Sandwich, CT 39JR, repolar back to previous Joden, Perlod Point of 1 Weeping Willow, tree preservation order, the subject order number 2 of 1967. That's Weeping Willow. How's that?
Yeah.
All in favour of the Weeping Willow?
That's the willow.
Thank you.
Okay, it's a bit big.
It's a big willow.
Brilliant, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
25/01/230, 39A King Street, Sandwich, CT 3090L, variation of condition 4, ALPI, opening time for planning permission, 19/01583 to allow for extended opening hours.
So this is, for those who don't know where it is, this is for the old pharmacy. So the old pharmacy on the end of by Galliard Street, on the end of King Street. They have new writers in. They haven't had there for about 8 months now. They're doing very well. They're very well liked. It's a really good establishment. They just want to extend their licensing hours to include some more daytime. I think it's
I think they've got the licensing hours, but it don't match up with the opening hours, does it?
Yeah.
I was going to say that the opening hours will change if the application goes through.
Yes, so this links back, so if you look back at 19/01583, which is mentioned later on in this meeting, so we look at them together. So when that application was approved, there was a stipulation around, it took into account the number of residential properties surrounding the bar. Directly opposite is Davino's Wine Bar, which closes at 10 p.m. And it stated that it was a 10 p.m. closing time was required in order to preserve the residential, because I wrote something, was residential amenity of the area. This request will include opening to 11 p.m. So just need to take that into account because it will be off kilter. So whilst they've got licensing hours, what we're looking at opening hours and whether we support a further hour with the impact on the residents, but also being slightly out of sync with the Davino's opposite.
It's not also opposite the takeaway, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's quite a bit of traffic to there.
It's slightly different, I suppose, but yeah.
So
I just wonder if it's fair to Davino's, if they have to close at 10, and the old pharmacy can stay open until 11.
Thing is, they've already extended their licence now, haven't they? So they're just trying to match the opening hours to the licence.
So did Davino's closes at 11?
No, this one.
The old pharmacy.
Right.
But they are two separate issues. So getting a licence for a period is separate from actually what is acceptable from a planning perspective in terms of opening hours. And that's why they're making the request. They wanted to try and align it. The consequences, you go back to the original application for the previous owners of that wine bar, which was that they were told 10 p.m. was the maximum because of the potential impact on residents. So if we want to agree with aligning, that's fine. We're just doing that with that taken into account.
Or the other alternative would be to there's this as a consultee, so no comment. And let licensing and planning decide themselves.
So it's a bit awkward now, isn't it?
I'm happy to support it. I'm happy to support it.
It's quite quiet there.
When the Davino's come and ask for theirs to be extended, I think if we support, then we need to be able to, we're ready to support them as well. And if we just don't comment, we won't be able to comment on theirs.
No.
Otherwise it's not fair.
So we're going to support it.
Yeah, I'm close.
Yeah. I'll second it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're all in favour of it, just opening it up, isn't it? Okay, thank you. 25/01/250 Griffin Cottage, 24 Upper Strand Street, Sandwich, Kent. Insert ground floor rear wall opening and insert petition for shower room. Replace rear side elevation door and a window. And it's quite nice to me. Any comments?
I'd like to propose it, I don't know, unless you've got comments.
Look, I was going to say I would like to support this proposal. There are minimal changes, and they're all to the back of the house, so they won't be visible from the street. And they seem to have taken quite a lot of care to preserve the character of the
The
building.
building,
And it's,
It's quite a clever little plan, actually.
yeah.
Minimal work.
No, it's nice.
Great value to them.
And then let's see, it'll be for them and some neighbours. Yeah. I think we'll win for, have we got a proposer?
William, I
William, can propose the proposal. I'll second it.
oh,
Everyone okay?
Yeah, everyone's okay.
Yeah. You flashing your box next,
I beg your pardon?
Reference number 25/01117, proposal, crown raised canopy up to a height of 6 metres above ground level at 1 English Oak, tree preservation 23, order number 10 of 2023, location Sir Roger Manville School, Manville Sandwich, CT 13, 9J, it's near the tennis court.
yeah, so this isn't cutting the top off, it's actually cutting the bottom off.
Cutting the bottom off.
But if you look at the photographs, you can see what the problem is. It goes across play areas.
Yeah.
So I propose that we support it.
Proposer, second. Councillor Mallett, I think we're in favour. Yeah, we're in it.
Next one.
Propose a variation of condition for opening to the planning permission 19/0158 to allow for extending opening hours.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
No, no,
sorry.
can't get started.
Second one.
You're too efficient. Yeah. 25/01/262 proposal replacement windows location 1 and 2 the Gatehouse, Sandown Road, Sandwich, CT 139NT.
Well, I would like to propose acceptance of this application. Again, I think a lot of care has been taken with the proposals, and I think we should welcome it.
So I think it's sympathetic. I think the choice of design is good, but it does undercut one of the principles I've heard the more long-term councillors in this room say, which is UPVC in conservation areas are not allowable. So if we're saying UPVC is, because this is UPVC, and if you actually look through the report, it doesn't make it clear.
No.
The material that's being used isn't a UPVC-based material. So if we're voting for it, let's realise that that's what we're doing. It's in a conservation area,
Isn't it? Yeah.
and the material is not wood.
It's only side and rear,
Yep.
and the front elevation is unchanged.
No, it's a side and rear, but we've got to think the wheels like wood for wood.
Normally, in conservation area, it's normally like for like, isn't
Yeah,
it?
like
It's
for
just
like.
replace to
So-
replace the likeness.
So we turn it down because of the material.
I'm just saying, do the eyes wide open, because actually a lot of the materials now that are being produced are very sympathetic and are recognised as sympathetic to heritage properties. So we might be starting a new precedent if we have to.
But you see, the council Chuck is right, because if we see with like, for instance, similar situations regarding solar panels on the top of roofs, we've had that, we've allowed a couple and then it's gone wildfire, then we say no. So I do think we should refuse it on the basis of the materials.
It's not suitable material.
Or maybe we just, we don't comment on it and allow it for DDC to.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah, BBC and
Yeah,
radio.
that was just no comment.
It's actually, I have to say, I hadn't realised that the windows were going to be using UPVC.
Well, it doesn't say that, it quotes the material,
Yeah.
if anybody can remember, so it's got another line in it. Sorry, if you can.
Yeah, because a lot of other people have done wood for wood, haven't they? Very expensive as well. Just out Dale Street there. That family share.
Oh, yeah.
It's number 25. 0125.
259.
That's the one, 1262.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong
Oh,
one.
right, okay.
Sorry, 262. We got all day.
Oh, great. Totally stacked. Applications, right, so planning applications.
I didn't have two screens.
Oh, we need to,
Oh, I'll do that all the way.
25.
01262.
Found it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it talks about the material in there.
Very, very plastic. Right down to the,
So we're using something called Residence Collection R9 windows. And they are UPVC.
Yeah, if you look at the old double glazed UPVC, yeah. They've got the plan.
I think it's the old gatehouse to the prison, didn't they, used to be there, Victorian.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so they replicate 19th century timber window designs with modern benefits. i.e.
Rejected because of the material.
I mean, we can, yeah.
It's in the conservation area.
The description they use is that it's got exceptional fidelity to timber.
Yeah.
So I think we should be, I mean.
Especially as a Victorian build, I think there's some modern ones that slip through somehow, you know, like white flies up there.
They're claiming it's like for like replacement in appearance.
Yeah, okay. So we can propose we reject this application because of the material specified.
So there's a standing
And the conservation area.
principle that the town council does not support UPVC windows in conservation area, and this one.
Okay?
Yeah.
Propose that. Or propose that. One second, all say that we reject this one. Unanimous. Okay, okay.
So councillor Franklin proposed refusal, and who seconded?
I think.
Okay. And everyone agreed to
Yeah,
refuse?
unanimous, yeah. That's okay, okay.
Didn't know that. It's clocked in.
Okay. Item 6, withdrawn planning application. There were no planning applications that have been withdrawn at the time issuing the agenda.
This one.
1259.
No, I have people coming on. Just checking. I didn't want to do that. 25/0125, no proposal. Erection of a single story side rear extension, insertion of rear dormer window and alteration of fenestration, existing carport and garage demolished, location Vigo, Sandown Road, Sandwich, CT13 9J. Z. Right, looks quite nice, this little,
I think it's a vast improvement on, it's a bit of a mishmash at the moment.
yeah,
Rather lopsided house.
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's the old lockkeeper's house years ago. Yeah, that's what it's called, Vigo Sluice.
Okay.
The gable end of the side extension is certainly an improvement.
The visual aspect
Flat
of
roof
that.
on the back.
Have we got a proposer, seconder?
I'm happy to propose it.
Seconder, I think all in favour? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Done item 6. Withdrawn planning application. There are no planning applications that have been withdrawn at the time of issuing this agenda. Number 7, planning decision. To receive and note latest decisions taken by Dover District Council on a new planning application. There's a, do you want to read all that? You're happy to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Proposing the recommendation. Yeah. Got a second and no recommendations. Right, that's the, thing we're happy with that.
All agreed?
Yeah, all agreed. Item 8, members to consider ways to work constructively with the developer to make this development accessible and accessible and acceptable.
So this was, Councillor Carter asked me to put this on the agenda, and unfortunately he's not able to attend this evening.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Can I make a recommendation?
Yeah.
Can I make a recommendation? It's becoming quite a common factor at the moment, the councillors are putting stuff on items on the agendas and they're not turning up to speak about them. So my personal opinion would be to not speak about it, remove it, because the person's not here to speak about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, I agree completely in terms of we can't have proposed items and the person isn't here to talk about it. However, if we do come to talk about this, I just want to say I'm not aware that the developer's been appointed, so that's the first thing. So somebody may know something that I don't. But even if there is a developer appointed, we have to, as a parish council, adhere to strict protocols around how we engage with developers.
Yeah.
So should we discuss this, we should make sure that we do it in a sensible manner, because we cannot be seen to be involved in a development project. The development on Deal Road actually benefits the school next door, so that could implicate individuals.
Yeah.
And I'll leave that one there.
Yeah.
But my proposal would be, if we do want to engage once a developer is appointed, we must have the town clerk involved in any meetings that we have with a nominated councillor who has no vested interest in the development itself. They're just representing the council.
I think you've got to wait till more proposals come through, firmed up, we haven't actually received the firmed up yet.
It's still awaiting a decision from the EDC.
Yes,
Can I just point out as well, the councillor involved in this report, they've got two conflicts of interest. One, they're close to it, and one also they're the school governor for Standards Tech. So there's a big conflict of interest there.
And there are other councillors who've got interest as well, so it's not.
Would you just delete this one? Or
I think we just notate.
Yeah, okay. Okay, item number 9, car parking on Dover Road. Members to receive a report on the loss of car parking spaces on the Dover Road, decision required, attachment 9. So people will have meetings about this. It's very worrying, isn't it, that the developers have done this, because I don't think they make that. I'm totally against the access to the start of it. We've had this in Widdensborough Road by the caravan side, because you go out Alexander Place, the developer of Alexander Place and the owner of the caravan side discussed the width of the road with Kent County Council. Kent County Council gave them a width, so they bought a bit of land off bungalow property in Widdensborough Road to make it 2-lane. So when the road was all in, KCC come and measured it, and then suddenly said they wanted pavement on either side, plus a certain width for 2 artics apart. So they won't accept it. So that road down to the caravan site will get adopted, and poor old Alexander Place, they've got street lights, and they're never going to get their road accepted, and so KCC keeps making blunders. So it's
And if we go back to the earlier request, which was whether we would support raising it, and I would suggest we should, we have another avenue, which is through one of our DDC councillors as well. We could ask our DDC councillor to represent it. But I was going to ask you, have you had a very clear response back that DDC are not willing to review?
From stage 1 was, no, we're not willing, there's nothing wrong with what we've done. My stage 2 response is due my stage 2 complaint is due a response by the 10th of this month. I have had an off-the-record conversation with a councillor who basically told me to get my hopes up about it. So, read into that what you will.
So what I would suggest is maybe between the planning committee chair and the town clerk is to voice our concern about this and support the resident in terms of their objections to it. But ultimately, we can only add our voice. They will be the deciding body.
Have we, as kind of asked if the new KCC councillors for Sanders is being lobbied yet, and we've spoken to about it? I don't know.
I don't know who that is, that'd be no.
That'd be a good idea.
You could contact him. So I can give you
so keen on sandwich.
I would just say it's not the developer who's done it, it's Dover District Council and all the developers' documents, they refer to replacement parking. So the only person who can't see it is the DDC planning officer.
Yeah.
Everyone else is looking at it saying, well, of course it is.
Okay. Okay,
So, so the proposal is the town clerk will write on behalf of the planning committee to support.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
and I think we should also raise it with one of our district councillors.
councillor, and the county councillor.
Yes.
Because I know it's not affected by highways, but it's already there. It might
Yes.
be pressure on the planning at Dover. And also the member of parliament actually has surgeries now, regularly in Aiken, so you could always have
Yes,
a chat with him, please.
not until February, the next one.
Yeah.
I know that he has already made contact with Dover District Council about it.
Oh, okay.
So he is aware of it, and I think he's also trying to influence it as well. I don't know, I'm trying to find out what the update was today before coming here.
Okay.
I didn't get an answer back, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'll also contact the KCC councillor and the MP to make them aware.
Yeah.
So you're happy for your papers you gave to us to be shared with those?
Absolutely, yeah. If you need anything else, obviously, I've got back to you all.
So who's proposing?
Propose,
Yeah. Councillor Super. I'll just keep it. We're all in favour of it, aren't we?
Yeah.
I'll leave you all in peace, you've seen nothing else. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Item 10, street furniture application. To receive and consider any application made to DDC in relation to a street furniture consent application under Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1982. Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1982, street furniture consent. Please note and under consider as time restricted agenda. So all in favour, we note this report? Yeah, thank you. Item 11, licensing. To consider and note any licence notice of sound, please note none to consider time restricted this agenda. Are happy to note?
Yeah.
Item 12, enforcement. To consider any enforcement notices and issues received from Dover District Council to receive and report on legal avenues required DDC to enforce at 57 New Street, decision required. It's been going around in circles for about 30 years, this place.
That's exactly the point.
Yeah. It's going to fall down, isn't it?
Well, possibly.
It's the same scenario regarding like traffic calming and stuff that we have to do with the highway improvement plan. Nothing will ever get done until something serious happens and someone gets seriously injured. That's my personal opinion on that thing. But I've been fighting this since I've been a councillor for the last 4 years. I know obviously Councillor Franklin has been here a very, very long time. He's been fighting it as well. So it's just don't know how, but the trouble is, as I said, DDC made their decision not to do anything with it 4 months ago now.
Yeah.
So they've still got another 2 months before the 6-month rule comes into effect for them to change anything. So my advice would be just keep lobbying DDC in regards to our DDC councillor to stop putting.
In my opinion, that was the nicest private house in Sandwich, that one. Councillor.
So we've got a request in, Councillor Morehouse has requested, so he got the note that we saw that detailed the investigations and then the outcome that nothing would happen from the planning officer. And there was an offer to have a meeting off the back of that note. I also spoke to the leader of DDC and also jumped on the back of Councillor Morehouse's request for a meeting. So there will be a meeting in the new year. 3 dates have been offered to the planning officer. And I've said I would like representation from the planning committee.
Yeah.
So I've asked to be at that meeting, but also 1 or 2 from this group should also be there.
Yeah.
I think for me that's the next stage.
Yeah.
I don't think it will lead to anything more, but I think we still need to make our concerns known. But the key thing is, in the report that's in front of us, things like taking action, PR campaign, etc., petition, protest, they've all been done.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't run the same race. Something different needs to happen, if anything. If people outside this room want to run a public campaign, that is completely fine. But I really do take slight umbrage with suggesting that we should meet with the owner, seek it to appeal to his conscience. That's not the sort of language we should be putting in council reports. I'm also aware another councillor suggested we should approach other members of the family. That is not acceptable. So anything we do as a council has to be agreed in this forum and has to be supported. We can't have individual councillors going off to the public and saying, I'm the council, you need to take action. That's my view. We need to look after our own reputation and look after residents, whoever they might be.
Because the gentleman actually come and spoke to you some months ago.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah.
Can I ask what the councillors would hope to achieve in the long run?
We'd like to see the house reinstated, but I doubt that'll happen. Because they don't have so much money involved, it's about £800,000, aren't they?
The statutory authority that can enforce anything is the district council.
And if you look at the fabric, it's all cracky. Yeah, so that would be
It's
cool.
Well, the two district councils that we had 24 months ago put in an item, a full council DDC for the DDC to act on the enforcement of it because it's dangerous and we've been fighting it for too long. And the administration at Dover District Council, it was a tie vote to have it changed, and it was the chairman. The chairman had the deciding vote, and he voted against doing any enforcement action on the lines. And that was 4 months ago. And you have to wait another 2 months before anything can be put back in to council for them to reconsider.
I mean, years ago we talked about compulsory purchase order, that all just went by the by. So it's just a shame, isn't it? And it's one of the most loveliest house, as you come over, it's not the loveliest house, now it's a ruin, isn't it? It's coming to sandwich. Yeah.
So I think it's in Dover District Council's hands. It's for them to decide. And if there is an opportunity to reopen the challenge, and that should happen. But I don't think within this parish council meeting there's anything we can do. We can engage with Dover, and we are doing that. And let's have that meeting after Christmas.
Yeah, I personally propose when the 6 month rule comes, when the 6 months is up, us as a council or us as a committee, planning committee, we start re-lobbying our district councils and saying, right, we want to start getting this done again. And they hopefully can put something in the agenda again for council for DDC to actually do as we've been requesting for the last 30 years and sorting it out.
So we're going to be part of the meeting with the planning officer, with the district councillors.
I have asked to attend, but I've also said I would like a small number of other councillors to be involved as well.
I would like to propose myself as essentially devil's advocate.
Go for it.
Attending. Because while I think we all know, we've all got strong feelings about the building, that it brings sandwich into disrepute, in a sense. He is one of our residents, and somebody needs to speak on his behalf, whether not directly on his behalf, but with a view to let's take his point of view as well in front of Dover.
I think that would be up to Dover District Council to decide that, wouldn't it?
I think that's the way to the meeting.
I do appreciate that.
I think the way forward is for that meeting.
And I strongly suggest that none of us approaches the owner,
No.
because the relationship is between the owner and Dover District Council.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I'll come if you want me to come, you see how it goes.
I was hoping you would. Yeah, well, I'm hoping it might even be here.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay, we're happy with that.
Okay,
Just a
so
note.
we are, Councillor Morehouse arranging a meeting with DDC Planning in the new year. Councillors must decide on future actions in the planning committee forum. Do we want to say something about 6 months? Do you want to give ourselves an action for the 6 months? Or should we just wait until the actual meeting?
A meeting.
Can I just say that within the report it says what is to be done? It says to launch and support. I do not want us to be doing that, and I certainly don't want us to be meeting with the owner to appeal to his conscience.
Go for any circles. You're going round in circles nearly 30 years. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Item 13, correspondence. To receive and consider correspondence relating to planning matters, including notification of appeals against refusal of plan application. Chapter 13. Do you agree?
There was just the letter from, on Holders Green, but I think, I mean, we can just deal with that.
Okay,
We can note it.
Item 14, Dover District Council planning update. Update on Dover District Council representatives on matters relating to planning. Do you agree?
I received this from Councillor Morehouse this afternoon. Good afternoon, Sophie. With respect to STC Planning Committee this evening, here with my DDC updates for Upper Strand Street. I'm waiting for an update from Calvin Giaconelli, case officer on the enforcement case, which has been set up to investigate this matter. And then 57 New Street, Sandwich, I've offered the following dates to Claire Dethier, Planning and Development Manager at DDC, for a meeting and wait a response. And I saw he had chased that today as well, so.
I was quite worried about that little house there, tucked away, sort of ignored, didn't it? It's been empty for that time. Okay. Item 15, date for next planning committee meeting, Monday the 12th of January 2026. Thank you for your. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Right, we're off, end screen.
We're off.